Tonight we're coming to you from U.S. Cellular Field, where the last place Twins are going to take on our second last place Sox. And when we started and looked at the schedule, who would have thought that both teams would be in the places they are when they went head-to-head at the beginning of May? Hello, everybody. Steve Stone. As you can tell, Hawk Harrelson is not with me tonight. He's under the weather. Fortunately, I'm a little bit over the weather, but not that much, and I'm here with Mike Huff. So, Mike, tonight we have Francisco Liriano really struggling. Edwin Jackson throwing the ball okay at times, but overall not all that good. How did both teams get to where they are?
Well, it's amazing to think about this team, the White Sox and the Twins, with great defensive histories, great hitting, that somehow there's been nothing timely about either of those through the first month of the season.
The Minnesota Twins are last in hitting, last in pitching. The defense has been somewhat of a mystery. Same could be said for the Sox. We'll see tonight which team is the better team, because both of these teams believe at the end they're going to be there. So stay tuned for baseball. We'll be back after these messages. they come into this one at 11-19. Minnesota at 9-18. And this is how Ron Gardner is going to line them up. Denard Span leading it off, and it's Casilla at second. Morneau at first. Kubel, who's been red hot, the DH. Michael Kadire and right. Rene Tassoni inserted into the lineup late as Jim Thome can't go. Then Valencia, Butera, and Tolbert rounded out. And the defense and how they'll line up behind Edwin Jackson, left to right. Pierre, Rios, and Quinton. In the infield, Morel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. Ramon Castro behind the plate. And the Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Edwin Jackson. Edwin looking for win number 3. His ERA just under 6. You can see the left-handers have really hurt him. He's got to get that slider over early. If he can do that, he can be effective against the league's worst offense and a team that scored the fewest runs in the American League. And there's a look at Ron Gardner with his pitching coach, Rick Anderson. There's Jim Thome in the foreground. Thome was in the lineup till the very last minute, has an oblique problem. And that's a good thing for Jackson because Thome was 8 for 13 against Jackson. There's a look at Ozzie Guillen. It's a very cool night here once again. 43 degrees at game time. White Sox broke a losing streak yesterday against the Orioles. Looking to win 2 in a row. And the Twins looking for answers. Both of these teams came into this season with high hopes. And both of them really struggling at this point. So my partner, Mike Huff, tonight, Hawk Harrelson is off. He's not feeling very well. And Mike, welcome to the booth.
Oh, thank you very much, Steve. Great to be back here, and hopefully we can get 2 in a row.
So Denard Span to lead it off, hitting .284. Got a home run with 6 driven in. He's 4 for 9 lifetime against Jackson. And the first pitch of the ball game. That one misses up and away. Outfield straightaway. Morel in at the cut of the grass at third. That ball lifted to the left, out of play. And Mike, on a cold night, what did you do as a hitter to try to combat a pitcher maybe trying to throw the ball inside?
Well, something that you don't see too often these days, Steve, is I used to choke up. I used to get about a half-inch up off the knob of the bat and just made sure that I was a little bit slower with my feet and a little bit quicker with my hands.
1-1 count as Span has started off this season hitting the ball pretty well. That one misses up and the count goes to 2-1. The umpires tonight. On the plate, Bruce Dreckman, Paul Emmel at first, Rob Drake at second, Gary Darling, the crew chief, is at third. Right back the middle, base hit. So Span leads it off in pretty good shape.
Well, you talked about the fact, Steve, that he's 4 for 9 against Edwin, and this ball straight as an arrow right over the heart of the plate. Many big leaguers aren't going to miss that one.
And Edwin fell behind 2-1. Span looking fastball all the way. That'll bring up Alexi Casilla, who was shifted over to second base. It was Jerry White, the first base coach. That fastball up and out of the zone. Casilla hitting a paltry 190.
Well, and you combine that with the fact that he's leading their team in errors. They might be trying to find him a spot in the infield where he can just relax a little bit and get back to swinging the bat.
Well, Gardner moved him off shortstop to second base. He just was not comfortable at short. Little chopper foul. That evens the count at 1-1. This Minnesota team is loaded with products from their own organization.
They are famous for that, and this is probably the one guy you don't want on first base. Denard, even though only has 2 stolen bases to this point, is definitely their one real base running threat.
Tried bunt, foul. Not real good technique right there.
I was going to say not good technique, but when a team is struggling, as you talked about, only 85 runs scored this year, lowest in the American League, they probably try to manufacture runs any way they can. And if you watch this, squared up too much, his body started to fall toward first base, did not even give himself a chance to put that ball in fair territory.
Anytime you drop the head of the bat, you can bet you're going to pop up the ball. So 1-2 count. That one popped off, foul to the left.
That was a good hanging slider that stayed up out of the zone to the point that even with a nice little line drive hitter was underneath it.
That's one of the reasons why Edwin has a 5.86 ERA. That slider, which has been very good at times, sometimes he tries to overthrow it, stays up high, and those are hit hard.
That helps speed up the bat of most hitters.
Hard hit ball, but foul. Count stays at 1-2.
In cold weather, when you were trying to throw a curveball or a slider, was it more difficult?
Well, now they let you breathe in your hand, and at times they let you go to your mouth. When I played, they didn't let you do that. They would let you occasionally breathe into your hand. You're trying to get some moisture, trying to get the feel of the ball. 1-2 pitch, big lead by Span. He's not going. And a ground ball to second. It should be 2. Alexi back to first, a double play.
Good job by Gordon getting that out of his glove quickly. A good pitch, just ate him up. 2-hopper, 3-hopper. Gordon, you see the quick throw, gave Alexi a perfect right in the chest, made a good throw to first. As you see right here, kids, good position, leaning, had the ball right in the middle of his body, showed it early, right on the chest. Textbook double play.
Brings up Morneau. Takes a slider for a strike. 6 for 14 lifetime against Jackson. He is off to a rough start at 225, a home run, 9 driven in. And he pops that ball straight up. Brent Morrell. Easy play for him. And an easy first inning after the base hit. So we head to the bottom of the first inning. The Twins don't score. But Pierre leading off with Ramirez hitting second. He's crushed Liriano. Then it's done. Paul Konerko hit a couple of home runs last night. Quinton, Rios, who also homered, Castro, Beckham, and Morrell rounded out. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Liriano. Left to right, Tassoni, Span, and Kadire. In the infield, Valencia, Tolbert, Casilla, and Morneau. Drew Butera behind the plate. And Alexis pursuing perfection starting pitcher, Francisco Liriano. And he's been crushed this year. 1-4. The ERA, almost otherworldly for him. Juan Pierre looks at one, up and out of the zone. He's hitting an even 250. 8 driven in. 4 for 16 lifetime against Liriano. And Liriano misses again. And talking with Rick Anderson, their pitching coach, He said Liriano's just trying to overthrow the ball and consequently consistently falling behind. Ball 3.
And not that Juan's going to be jumping out swinging at bad pitches leading off a game, but I'm sure Greg Walker has talked to the Sox hitters just about that, shrinking that strike zone and getting a good pitch to hit.
Fastball right down the middle. There's a look at Mr. Walker. He was a great hitting coach in spring training, very good when the season started. Suddenly not so good now. And he's the same pitching, he's the same hitting coach.
Yep.
So Juan draws a walk to lead it off. That's a 19th walk in 23 2/3 innings. And that will get you a 9.13 ERA.
Well, more than any time, the time you don't want to walk someone is leading off an inning.
Especially with a guy coming up who's 10 for 20 against you lifetime. Lexi's hitting .259, 3 home runs, 10 driven in. That breaking ball nips the outside corner. And the game conditions. 43 degrees. The wind, not much of a factor. Pierre with a good lead at first. Outfield straight away. And right at third base. Valencia makes the play, but Juan Pierre does a nice job of getting back.
Well, as you talked about, Alexi 10 for 20 off of Liriano. Hits this one square on the numbers. Unfortunately, they had a guy there. Juan did a very nice job of not going too far off the base. And especially a ball hit to left field, he's probably not getting a third anyways.
And Adam Dunn hitting .165 coming in, 3 home runs, 12 driven in. Mike, when you see a pitcher for the first time, like Dunn has never seen Liriano, what do?
You stand on the top step every time someone's hitting, so you can try to pick up tendencies. You watch what the catcher's doing, and just like Adam did, you probably take a first few pitches, the first at bat.
But you're watching a lot of tape. Does that help you at all?
Oh, yes, especially these days. I mean, the tape, they have so many great angles. You can start to pick up the release points.
Ground ball to second. They get the force at second. Over to first, the double play. So despite a leadoff walk, Liriano gets out of the first inning, and after one, there is no score.
Career that spanned 4 decades. Inside Look with Dennis Savard, Friday night at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Nice read.
Thank you.
If Joe Grube hadn't redacted that, you'd still be going.
It could be trouble.
Could have been trouble. But instead, it's going to be Jason Kubel leading it off. 2 for 9 lifetime against Jackson. And he's been the hottest of all of these Twin hitters. Hit safely in 22 of 26 games this year. He's hit safely in 16 of his last 18, hitting .429 over that span. So this is a guy you got to be careful with. fastball misses outside. Kubel, a product of the Twins organization. Lifts it to left field. Juan Pierre right there to make the catch.
Well positioned, good jump. 2 hands on that catch, making sure we got that first out.
Minnesota's really struggled on the road this year. 5-12 away from their brand new ballpark. 4-6 at home. Sox 5-9 here at U.S. Cellular Field, and that's got to turn around. Michael Kadire comes up hitting .226. He's hit 3 home runs. He's driven in just 4 runs. Talking with Ron Gardner, he said he's going to put him in right field. He's been moving him all over the field. He thinks that's why he's not hitting the baseball. Good fastball for a strike. Now, I know you moved around. Did it affect how you hit the ball?
Not really. I mean, when you're hitting at the bottom of the order or the top of the order and your job is just to get line drives, wherever you're playing didn't bother me much. Kadire's got to be thinking this is a great chance to break out. 4 for 6, like you said, against Edwin, as most of these guys. Not many at bats against Edwin, but some pretty good averages, some pretty good numbers.
That foul evens the count at 2-2. They're playing Kadire a little toward right center field. Former #1 draft choice of these Twins. 2-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit. He stayed right with the slider.
Now you know why we had him shifted over to right field. If you look at your Dodge pitch fan track, again, not that bad of a pitch, maybe a little bit up in the zone. I'm sure he wished it would have been down a little bit more. Didn't quite have the bite that we've seen historically from Edwin last year, but Kadire, a nice swing and base hit to right, unfortunately.
And up comes Rene Tassoni. He was a late addition to this lineup, hitting .176. And he looks at a fastball for a strike. Tassoni, 6 feet tall, 195, out of Toronto, Canada. Last year, he hit .270 at New Britain. Not a whole lot of power. And not great speed.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're hitting .176, those pitches on the corner somehow are always called a strike. And when you're hitting .354 like Kubel, I'll bet those are balls.
Well, Edwin throwing 96 tonight, so he's got a pretty good fastball. Kadire short lead at first. And that fastball up and out of the zone. Andre Ethier, 28-game hitting streak with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's halfway there. Halfway to DiMaggio.
And I'm sure when someone told him that, he probably thought, you've got to be kidding me. This has seemed like the greatest month of my life, and I'm only halfway there.
1-2 pitch, runner going. Popped up. Morel going back. He's not going to get to it. And nobody covering third. That was a mistake by Jackson. Because a pitcher is taught, go to the unoccupied base. And Jackson was late getting there.
Well, and before the pitch, you heard the people saying someone's running. Great pitch on that inside corner. You see Alexi going toward short. As Edwin's looking up, he's got to glance quickly at second to see who's there and then get to third. Unfortunately, wasn't there in time and didn't give Juan enough confidence that he could possibly throw there to keep Kadire at second.
Runners at the corners. Edwin Jackson winds up after his delivery with his back to home plate. Brings up Danny Valencia. Valencia had a big year last year at .311. This year, hitting .211. 2 home runs, 13 driven in. He has never faced Edwin Jackson.
Prime candidate for a double play. Edwin got one in that first inning. Let's see if he can come through again here.
Line drive right at Beckham. Heads up base running by Tassoni. Because Gordon was looking at first, looking for the double play.
From our AT&T UVerse multi-view here, you can see Edwin with a good pitch, Valencia a nice swing, good balance, Kadire automatically sliding back, and Tassoni one step and head first back into first, making sure he's not doubled up either.
Drew Butera hitting 106. 4 runs driven in. Looks at a fastball off the plate. Butera's in there because Mauer is hurt. He's got some tendonitis still in his knee. He was suffering a sore shoulder. They don't know when he's coming back. He's not doing any baseball-related activities yet. That fastball misses down. And this is not the guy that you want to get behind because he can hit one pitch, that's a fastball.
Edwin, this inning more than others, was doing a good job of throwing 2 pitches for strikes, both that slider and the fastball. And like you said, the guy hitting 106, you don't want to give him any confidence. End the inning right here.
Popped up. Lexi's going to make this play, and that's it. So, Jackson and the Sox out of the inning, and no scores. We head into the bottom of the second. And a 2-run shot coming in the 8th. And that was a blast. Giving him 8 for the year. And on our United Airlines leaderboard, 47 home runs since the start of last season. 3rd in the major leagues.
Well, Paulie has such a pretty swing, and starting the beginning of last year, seemed to find it and was able to hang on to it for a full season. Had a great year, and it started off the year well this year.
That one misses low and away. Paul 6 for 19 against Liriano, hitting .304 this year with those 8 home runs, driven in 24.
Second in the AL in both home runs and RBIs.
Fly ball right field. Easy play for Kadire, and he makes it. So here's our picks to click tonight. And Hawk, in absentia, is going to take Brent Morel, a bold pick. The crew is going to take Alex Rios. And me, I go with the guy that's 10 for 20 lifetime against Liriano. And that could spell disaster because my picking this year has not been good. Alexi Ramirez. That one misses inside. Carlos Quentin hitting .288. 6 home runs, 17 driven in. 3 for 11 lifetime against Liriano. Good fastball, throws it right by him.
Swung right through that one. Had a nice balance, nice swing. Something that we have seen out of Carlos a lot more this year than last year was just a good overall approach, a little bit better, and great balance.
Good breaking ball for a strike. And the count goes to 1-2.
As you can see there, hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. Over 300.
Just missing inside. So the count evens at 2. We're in the bottom of the second. There is no score. 2 struggling pitchers going head to head. And so far they've been a little better than the offenses. That one misses again inside.
Well, and you can tell Carlos is not afraid to flinch from an inside pitch. I know he's first in the AL with 7 hit by pitches so far this year.
That's going to rise dramatically. And he takes one down and takes a walk. The second walk issued by Liriano.
Well, you think about Liriano's numbers last year where 2 out of every 3 starts he had a quality start. And this year he's only had 1 in 5. Just night and day. And as we were talking about beforehand, let's not give him any reason to think he can get into a groove. Let's be patient. Let's shorten up and shrink that strike zone and put a good swing on him.
That brings up Alex Rios, hitting 168, couple of home runs, 7 driven in. And looks at a fastball for a strike. Lifetime 4 for 21 against Liriano.
Now, in that situation as a hitter, you're kind of one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't. You want to make him throw some pitches, but when you struggle against a pitcher, the first one close you want to be swinging at. Good job of taking that changeup down.
Liriano has a fastball, slider, and change. He loves his slider. When he wants to wipe you out, that's the pitch he'll go to. 1-1, right at second base. Easy flip over to first, and that's the inning. The second double play turned to end the inning by the Twins. So after 2, there is no score.
Time with White Sox in-game live only at csnchicago.com, brought to you by The Great Escape.
Celebrating Cinco de Mayo tonight.
A lot of derbies out there. A lot of people supporting the big sombreros.
Well, that's usually what you do on Cinco de Trio. Or Trio.
Or Trio.
Matt Tolbert leads it off and looks at a fastball down. Hitting 178, a couple of runs batted in. He's 1 for 3 lifetime against Edwin Jackson. Outfield straightaway, not overly deep. And that one misses off the corner for ball 2.
In your opinion, Steve, how is Edwin looking out there? I know the last couple games he has not been able to be consistent with that strike zone, but first couple innings, not many bad pitches.
No, I'd like to see him change speeds a little more. And occasionally he'll throw some good straight changes. Last time out, he had a tough one against the Yankees. He didn't have good control, but that fastball over the outside corner evens the count at 2-2. Don Cooper looking on. And that slider misses down and out of the zone, and the count goes full.
Now that was a good biting slider. Started in and fell out. I'm sure that's what he'd like to see, but maybe a little bit earlier in the zone, get them hitting those ground balls.
3-2 pitch. That one fouled off to the left. Yankees come in leading the AL East by 3 games over Tampa Bay. Cleveland by 4.5 games over Kansas City in the Central. And the Angels and Texas in a tie in the AL West. Easy chopper right at Gordon Beckham. He'll play it, and that's an easy first out.
Organize a group outing of 20 or more during the 2011 season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Denard Span comes up. He had a base hit to lead off the game, was quickly erased on a double play ground ball. Fouled that one straight back. Detroit leading the Yankees 2-1 that game in the bottom of the 5th. The Angels 1-0 over Boston. That game in the bottom of the 6th. Toronto leading their game 2-1. And that little chopper, tough play for Morel. Over the top. He gets him by a half step.
Now that's a great job by Morel. This was definitely an in-between hop that he was not going to have a chance to come in and get it. So he took that half step back and knew he had to be quick. You see the quick step in, knowing he couldn't get there, and really came over the top. Good hard strike to Paulie, getting him out by a half a step.
Cut down a man who can really run in Denard Span. So Alexi Casilla, who grounded into a double play, comes up with 2 out, nobody on. Tried to bunt his way on and bunts his way through it.
I'll tell you what, Edwin is throwing some hard fastballs. You talked about the fact that if he can throw this flyer for a strike and he's got a good changeup, at times when you're struggling as a pitcher, do you forget about those other pitches?
Well, right now he's 97 in the strike zone, so it's not too bad. And that one fouled straight back. He's catching the Twins at the right time. I mean, this is a team that just offensively has done almost nothing. The toughest hitter on their ball club against Edwin, Jim Thome, came up with an oblique problem before the game. He was scratched. And that slider misses down and out of the zone, and the count goes to 2-1.
Jim had 2 home runs and 13 at-bats, hitting over 600 against Edwin, so I'm sure he didn't mind hearing about the oblique and said, go ahead, take one more day off.
There's a bunt. Jackson's got it, bare hand, throw to first. It gets away. Beckham backing up, throw to second base. They got a shot. He's out at second. Great way to end it. Heads up play by Gordon Beckham. And we'll take a look at that coming back. We head into the bottom of the 3rd inning. There is no score.
off the next inning. Typically, it's when you're diving. Edwin does a great job bouncing off the mound. Bad throw in the dirt, but Gordon Beckham, very heads up, backed up the overthrow and made a quick throw to second base to Alexi and got Casilla out at second. And who do we have leading off? Gordon Beckham.
Well, he looks a lot like Ramon Castro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ramon is coming up. You're right. Beckham's on deck. I'd like to see Ramon turn one around here and just lose one.
Hitting 240. Home run, 2 driven in. And he swings at a good sinker out of the zone. Angels and Boston tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Outfield straightaway, very deep. And that slider just missed the outside corner. Tried to drop it through the back door.
The back door, that was very close.
He got him.
Well, another good hard slider there. This spring, don't throw out your old baseball gloves. Donate them. Donations benefit youth in the White Sox-sponsored Intercity Baseball League. Donations will be accepted April 15th through May 31st. For details about collection sites, call 312-674-5369 or visit www.bullsoxacademy.com.
That one just missed Gordon Beckham, who's 1 for 8 lifetime against Liriano. Gordon comes in at 214. Starting to hit the ball a little bit better as he's taking it to right and right center. He's got a couple of home runs, driven in 9. Swings and misses, and when you get pushed back off the plate with the first pitch, does it seem to you that outside corner gets a little further away?
Oh, yeah, and you try to tell yourself, no, don't worry about it, get back over there, but somehow it doesn't always work that way.
Fastball misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-1. 4 hits for the Twins. Liriano has yet to give up his first hit to our Sox. Fly ball center field, plenty of room for Span. And he puts it away easily.
Gordon just missed this one, too. Good hard fastball, got his hands inside of it, but again, just a fraction late. Really throwing that barrel and driving it, not just passing through the zone and hitting it.
Be a couple of weeks till Shinoshi Nishioka comes back. He was their Japanese import. He was supposed to play second base, broke his leg. He's got some rehabbing to do, but should be back in the not-too-distant future. So Brent Morel hitting 194, 7 driven in, no home runs. Mike, can you hit taking no walks in 75 at-bats?
Not many people can. You think about the fact that when you're coming up through the minor leagues, even the best hitters understand that pitchers are going to pitch you around you at time, and when you have patience, somehow the game slows down, you have a better chance to hit it. Right now, Brent is speeding the game up.
And soft fly ball to center field. That's going to be the 3rd out. So through 3 innings, there is no score.
KFC. Feed 4 or more with the KFC 10-piece family feast. Just $20.
Here's our AT&T trivia question. AT&T moving very slowly tonight. Who is the only player in Twins history with multiple 20 homer and 20 stolen base seasons? As Justin Morneau comes up, he popped up to end the first inning. We're going to give you a chance to ponder that, and we'll be back with that a little later on. Talking with Ron Gardner, he thought Morneau was really pressing to hit the ball out of the ballpark. In batting practice, he would just have an uppercut swing. Finally did hit a home run, and Gardy wonders if he'll take some of the pressure off. Easy ground ball right at Gordon Beckham. And there's one out.
Well, the second baseman for both teams are getting a good workout today. Pitchers in the zone, keeping that ball down. And clearly not the same Morneau that we've seen in years past.
No, still probably not 100% from that concussion. He was on a very strict schedule this spring. Ron Gardner told me that he could play him a certain time, then had to rest him, then play him again at certain times, and couldn't deviate from that schedule.
Well, as we talked about, I think most people think of Justin Morneau as a baseball player, but where did the concussions come from?
Yeah, probably from hockey.
Justin was a great junior hockey player and probably took a bunch of blows to the head. That all it takes is one in his mid to late 20s, and now that's a little bit longer than just a week or a couple days or even a month.
Kubel in an 0-2 hole. Looks at a slider low and in. This is a guy in this lineup you really have to worry about. He's been hitting just about everything in sight. He leads the team with 11 multi-hit games. One-two pitch, well hit to right field. Going back, gone. So the first run of the game goes to the Twins, and it's a third home run, 11th driven in by Jason Kubel.
They're one hot hitter. We talked about it. We were hoping to get that slider down and in, but as you see on this Ford home run replay, it was too much up in the zone, too much of the plate, and Kubel, the one really hot hitter, did not miss it.
Brings up Michael Kadire, who had a base hit. Took a slider to right field the first time up in the second inning. That's the fifth Twin hit. Outfield shading him toward right, and he fouls that one off to the right. That's probably what it looks like to Kubel right now. It comes in slow motion.
My gosh, I can't remember many games it was like that, but for Kubel, he's definitely in that zone. Good pitch by Edwin, just off the plate there, teasing him.
1-2 count, 19th career home run against our Sox, and it puts the Twins up 1-0. Little chopper right side. Harrell has to give some ground, flips it across, and just gets Kadire.
Brent doing a great job gobbling things up there at third base, and again, realizes early on, not that fast a runner. Let's make sure we get the big hop, which he does. Nice easy throw, flips it from the side, gets his man.
That'll bring up Rene Tassoni. He had a base hit in the second. Looks at a fastball low and in.
Rene got a little lucky. Edwin did a great job of throwing that fastball with two strikes in on his hands, but put a good pass on it and just threw it over Brent's head into left field.
Swings and misses on a fastball in. That one sliced foul.
Just
down
not
by
catching
Scott
up.
Alger.
Yeah, just not catching up to the fastballs. Again, I mean, I talked about this before. As a pitcher, do you start to almost fall in love too much with it, where you don't practice enough or you don't throw enough changeups just to keep them off stride?
Well, if a guy's swinging that late on my fastball, I don't want to change too much on him.
Speed up his bat sometimes?
Well, he's got to show me that he can get around on it. Now, when I became a pitcher, it wasn't 96, 97. That was really early in my career. Later on, I had to do a whole lot of tricks to get the guy out. But I do know one thing. If a guy showed me that he couldn't handle whatever it was I was throwing, I didn't deviate too much from that. He had to prove to me he could hit it. 2-2 pitch. And fouled off to the right. So 2 out here in the 4th inning. Excuse me. For those of you just joining us, my partner Hawk Harrelson, a little under the weather. I'm just over the weather.
And hopefully not getting any worse. I know you were saying there's several people that have been catching a bug.
Yeah. Count goes full. 3-2 pitch with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. And a line drive to right field. Carlos comes in, puts it away easily. And that's it, but not before the Twins get a run on the Kubel homer. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Twins. In Twins history with multiple 20 home run, 20 stolen base seasons. And the answer, Torrey Hunter in 2002 and 2004. Residing now with the Angels and off to a slow start this year. Not the Angels, Torrey Hunter, as is Vernon Wells.
I was actually thinking that might have been the Chicago product with the 2020, Kirby Puckett.
Might have been, but wasn't. Juan Pierre takes a fastball up, drew a base on balls, was erased on a double play to end the 1st inning. And there's a good slider for a strike, and the count evens at 1-1. Tassoni in fairly close over toward the line in right. Valencia in on the grass at 3rd. Juan tries to drag it up the first base side, and it's foul.
Now this is a really good attempt because Liriano, as you were talking about, sometimes when he falls off the mound, he's not going to be able to get to first as quick. And if Juan pulls it toward first base and forces Morneau, if Casilla isn't really hustling to cover first base, it's going to be a pretty easy base hit for Juan.
1-2 pitch. That misses down and away. Liriano has yet to give up a hit. And he's kept his pitches to a minimum. Nice piece of defensive hitting by Juan Pierre. A lot of guys would have been wiped out with that pitch.
Very true. And it's not White Sox haven't had base runners. 2 of the 4 innings, or 2 of the 3 innings prior to this, we have had someone on. Unfortunately, it's been a couple double plays that have wiped them out.
That one misses inside. Liriano is noted for getting to 100 pitches somewhere just after the 5th inning. But not tonight. He's made 36 of them, and he's in the top of the bottom of the 4th inning. Draws another walk.
Good job by Juan there battling. As you talked about earlier, Steve, there was one pitch in there that most guys either would have grounded out or struck out, and he did a great job of just spoiling it and giving himself another chance, and now he's on first.
Representing the tying run.
And now we have our hot hitter against Nelson at the plate. Last time up, lined out to third base in the 1st inning.
Making Alexi 10 for 21 lifetime against Liriano. And Butera now goes out to talk with Liriano. And talking with Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, he said, it's kind of amazing, but Liriano at times will go out, give you 4 no-hit innings, give you 4 easy innings, and not survive the 5th. And so I think that's why Butera went out there and talked to him.
Well, and Nelson's throwing well, too. It seems like every batter he's got 0-1, 0-2.
Couple of throws to first base, but Pierre not that far off the bag. And another throw to first. Obviously, he hasn't looked at the fact that Juan has stolen 5, been thrown out 8 times. But Gardner might be thinking about the hit and run. And that was a good breaking ball.
Well, I'm sure Alexi was thinking, you know what, he's behind in the count. He's definitely going to throw me another straight one. And this one, as you see on the Dodge fan track, great location, great changeup, and not afraid to throw it behind in the count.
Detroit's extended their lead to 4-1 over the Yankees. That game in the top of the 6th inning. Kansas City leads Baltimore 3-0. That game in the bottom of the 3rd. Toronto leading Tampa Bay 2-1. Late in that game. Towering foul ball. Out a little too quickly and another straight change.
Yeah, Alexi getting the barrel out on that one. But as you talked about, enough change in speeds. That when Francisco's throwing that hard fastball and then takes that 10 miles an hour off it.
Well, Butera's done a nice job. He's not going to hit much for you, but he's a catch it, call it, block it, and throw it type catcher. That one popped up. Easy play for Casilla. And 1 out.
Keep an eye out for Dog Day presented by Hills Pet Nutrition. Tuesday, May 17th, White Sox versus the Rangers at 7:10 p.m. Visit hillspet.com for more information.
Great day at the ballpark, Dog Day.
Always wonderful.
Adam Dunn grounded into a double play to end the 1st inning. And he looks at a slider just off the plate. This is Dunn's first look ever at Francisco Liriano. And Liriano falls behind 2-0.
Adam's done a good job looking at both of those. He's probably seen all 3 of his pitches now. The slider, the changeup, and the fastball. And looking for a better result than the double play his first at-bat in the 1st inning.
Good fastball for a strike.
And again, that's where you just tip your cap. That's a great location. 2-0, you're looking for something to drive good hitters will let that one go by knowing they've got 2 more strikes.
Looks like Juan reading the move of Liriano pretty well, because he was heading back to the bag before Liriano even attempted to go to first. There he goes. Throw to second base. It's going to be late. And Juan is in with his 6th stolen base.
That was a great jump by Juan. Read the move extremely well. And additionally, great job by Adam Dunn saying, look, we're down by 1. Let him get there, because he had a great jump. That was one of the times Francisco lifted his leg and not just did a slide step. Juan head down the whole way. Good hard slide in the second.
2-2 pitch with 1 out. And the count goes full again. So the second time through the order, the guys are taking a little more patient approach to Liriano. Paulie waiting on deck, and Adam Dunn fouls it off.
Good job of battling right there. Again, not the good fastball by Liriano, but Adam keeping it in there. Giving himself one more chance.
Three-two pitch. Good slider for strike 3. Second strikeout of the night.
As you see the Dodge pitch track here, again, just a great pitch right on that outside corner. Adam pulled off the shoulder just a hair, and it was just enough where he couldn't cover the whole plate. Unfortunately, a strikeout.
Brings up Paulie. Fly out in the second inning. Tying run on second base. And Liriano misses low and in.
Knowing that Paul is one of the better hitters on the White Sox and swinging the bat well as a pitcher, would you sometimes with an open base try to pitch around him even though you're pitching a great game?
Absolutely.
Hung a little bit of a slider there. You could tell Paulie again looking for fastball. We talked about earlier, second in the American League in RBIs. Ben Zobrist from Tampa Bay leading it. When you think about the start that Tampa Bay had, the fact that they've got one of their players leading the American League shows how far they've come after that first week of the season.
Well, the 10 RBIs in a doubleheader helps a lot.
That's a good month for some people. He does it in one day.
Well, he won the Player of the Week. Now goes to 2-1. This is down. It looks like Liriano is going to pitch around him. I think this is a smart move, regardless of what Carlos Quentin does. You pick out one guy in your lineup, you make sure that guy doesn't beat you. For the Twins, it's Kubel. Hit a home run, put the Twins up 1-0. For us, it's Paulie. 3-1 count.
Well, you talked about before Butera doing a great job behind the dish. May not be a great hitter, but as a pitcher, if you know you've got a catcher that you can throw it in the dirt and it's not going to get by, no runners are going to advance, you're just going to have that much more confidence to throw it at times. So Butera calling a lot of off-speed stuff. Again, a good hard slider. I'm sure Francisco wanting to make it look like a fastball. Butera does a great job keeping it right in front of home plate, not giving Juan any chance to advance to third.
Brings up Carlos Quentin, who drew a base on balls in the second inning.
Not what you would typically see out of a Francisco Liriano stat line, 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. But the way this year has gone, it's more the norm than the exception.
That control has been just terrible, averaging over 7 walks per 9 innings. That fastball misses low and away. Has been the case for the last couple of years. When you start to pressure Liriano, he starts to miss. Good changeup, and the count evens at 1-1. Last year, Liriano went 14-10, had 31 starts, pretty good 362. It was a great bounce back year after the 5-13 with a 5.80 ERA in 09. Pierre with a good lead at second. And a fastball misses up and away. So the count goes to 2-1.
And Carlos looking like he's picking up the ball well. I mean, the minute that was out of his hand, he wasn't even going to give it a thought knowing it was up and out of the zone. So hopefully he can zero in on one, pick up that rotation right out of the hand and drive one in the gap and score a couple.
Good fastball over the outside corner. That one at 93.
And I tell you what, no hitter is looking for a pitch on the black, low 90s, and is going to swing at it unless he's got 2 strikes. So again, Carlos doing a good job of laying off it and giving himself a chance, hopefully here, to drive one in.
Scoring opportunity for the Sox. Into the gap in left center field. Great running catch by Denard Span. So a bid for a double by Quinton goes for naught. And we're through 4 with the Twins leading 1-0.
If you're the 500th texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway.
Still a big fan of the meatball sub.
Oh,
Still trying to get him to put in 10 meatballs, though. Danny Valencia to lead off the top of the 5th inning. Sox trail 1-0. Valencia hit a line drive right at Gordon Beckham with 2 men on in the 2nd inning. That evens the count at 1-1.
Well, and nice to see him start him off with the slider. Again, not just throwing the fastball, probably finally having confidence that he can throw it for a strike when he wants to. And now let's start working some of the other pitches into the repertoire.
Lifted to center field. Easy play for Alex Rios as he drifts across into right center and puts it away.
For a flexible ticket plan for the 2011 season, try the Ozzie plan. Get your choice of 13 games, including the BP Crosstown Cup Series against the Cubs and matchups against the Twins, Yankees, and Red Sox. The Ozzie plan is available now and starts as low as $171 per seat. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Drew Butera comes up. Popped out to end the second inning. Tries to bunt his way on. Goes foul. You were on teams that were struggling offensively, I'm sure, as was I. What did your manager try to do? Same thing Gardy's trying to do, bunt, run when you can? I mean, try to manufacture something?
A lot of small ball. Was fortunate to come up with the Dodgers in the National League where small ball was a way of life. But, yes, with the White Sox, Indians, or Blue Jays, when we would struggle, you would see a lot more hitting and running, a lot more bunting and running, just putting the ball in play and trying to make things happen, putting the other team on the defense.
Slider for a strike in the 0-2 pitch. Little chopper, tough play by Morel. Comes in, fires across, and gets Butera by a step.
And now you see why the White Sox are so high on Brent Morel. There's been a series of plays this game just through 5 innings. Choppers, forward, backwards, and now a slow roller, swinging bunt comes in beautifully. Great balance, and a strike to Pauly. Getting Butera out by a full stride. Shades of Robin Ventura. My teammate.
And a terrific third baseman. Ground ball to short. Lexi's got it. Big hop. Throws it across in an easy 5th inning. 1-2-3. We head into the bottom of the 5th. Still 1-0 Twins. Carlson, he is a little under the weather. Mike Huff is my partner this evening. And so far he has not been an offensive broadcaster because we trail 1-0. Still have not gotten our first hit, and that fastball for a strike. So Alex Rios, who grounded into a double play to end the second inning, looking out at Francisco Liriano. Slices that one foul up the right side, and the count goes to 0-2. Liriano came in 3-3 lifetime against the Sox with an ERA of 5.51. Conversely, Jackson 1-2 against the Twins with an ERA of 7.75. But both pitchers pitching very well tonight.
Sometimes the cold can also nullify a good hitting ball club. As we talked about before, you try to choke up, you want to hit, really square up the ball, get a little defensive, and as a pitcher, sometimes that's all it takes to start getting that confidence back. And I think both pitchers have shown moments where they feel comfortable throwing almost any pitch for a strike.
41 degrees at the ballpark. And a 1-2 count on Alex Rios. That one misses low and away.
Alex not having much success against Liriano in the past, but hopefully leading off this inning we can turn it around and get him on the bases. Always nice to see a pitcher struggle when he's thrown zeros across the board. I'm sure most hitters, Rios especially, saying, "Are you kidding me?
Well,
am I missing something here? No hits, no runs, and you can't figure out what you want to throw?"
Well, apparently a discrepancy between Butera and Liriano quickly cleared up. Liriano started his career with the San Francisco Giants. Little chopper right at Valencia. Long throw across, good strong arm, and he gets him.
To join the White Sox mobile group by texting CLE for a chance to win $50 in Comiskey cash and 4 tickets to the game on May 19th versus Cleveland. Shy Sox mobile users get special offers, exclusive deals, contest info, and more. Text CLE to Shy Sox 244-769.
Ramon Castro with a rocket to center field, but Denard span right there.
Boy,
So hard hit.
I tell you what, in center, the ball just does not seem to be flying middle of the field. We know here at U.S. Cellular, sometimes it'll fly to left, sometimes it'll fly to right, but both Carlos Quentin's and Ramon's balls both seem to be hit pretty doggone well, and Span, granted, getting a good jump, ran him down pretty easily. Not much breeze blowing. Steve talked about 41 degrees. We're not getting much of a wind chill. And
wind with no factor. And you're right, in the alleys at least the ball is really hanging up. So Gordon Beckham comes up with 2 outs. Easy fly out to center field back in the 3rd inning. And he misses a straight change. So now Liriano has established that he can throw that straight change around the zone. Makes him doubly tough.
And he's not been afraid to throw it early in the count. Edwin, most of the time early when he's thrown his off speeds, has been with 2 strikes.
Good hard slider inside. All 3 pitches have been out of the strike zone.
Yep.
And Gordon's down 1-2.
Well, in the first at bat, same thing for Gordon. He got ahead with 1 ball, no strikes, good patience, and then unfortunately flew out to center. That one Francisco did not give him even a chance bouncing it. It's time for Gordon to turn one around with 2 strikes the way Kubel did.
Sox still looking for their first hit. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Twins on top 1-0, courtesy of a Jason Kubel home run. That one misses up and away. And Liriano has now hit the 70 mark in pitches, which for him at this time is pretty good. Lifted into center field. It's going to be a real easy inning for Liriano. And it's 1-2-3 here in the 5th. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Twins clinging to a 1-0 lead.
Coverage begins at 8:30 with Feldco White Sox pregame live Friday night at 8:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
We head into the top of the 6th inning. Denard Span to lead it off. He's 1 for 2. Single to lead off the ball game. It almost beat out a ground ball to Morel in the 3rd inning. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
Good movement on that fastball in a location that is a bunter, almost impossible. Good job by Denard laying off it, unfortunately for us.
That one misses down and out of the zone. This is the man you want to keep off base if you want to keep this game at 1-0. Because if he gets on, barring a double play, you're going to have to face Kubel this inning. Slider misses low and in, and the count goes to 2-1. Morel even with the bag at 3rd. Wally back at 1st. And he's back right there to make the play. Easy chopper, 1 out.
Well positioned, well played. Good job by Edwin. Again, 46 strikes, only 24 balls.
A radical departure from last time out against the Yankees where he had virtually no control. Cia shows bunt, takes one down. He did bunt in the 3rd inning. Was given a base hit, justifiably so. Edwin threw it wide of the bag, and a great job of backing up by Gordon Beckham. Drag bunt, easy play. Whoa. Almost threw it over Paulie's head.
This first time when he bunted down the 3rd base line, Edwin threw it into the ground. This time trying to pull it down the 1st base line. Edwin does a good job bouncing off and says, I'm not bouncing this one. I'm going to make sure I keep it high, and almost threw it too high. Sometimes for a pitcher, it's tough to just toss an easy one instead of throwing it hard, isn't it, Steve?
I would think you put a little something on it, because that little flip over there sometimes doesn't work real well. Morneau is 0 for 2, hasn't had the ball out of the infield. A pop up and a ground out. And that one fouled straight back. A big, healthy cut for Justin Morneau.
Good location by Edwin, and again, a good job of just filling up the strike zone. First couple pitches getting ahead. Now he can do a number of different things.
1-2 count as that fastball misses up. Tampa Bay came back to beat Toronto 3-2. That's a final. That evens the count at 2-2.
Well, you had 2 hard fastballs up, so Justin's eyes clearly are high in the strike zone. 1 fastball up and away, 1 fastball up and in.
Slider misses low and in, and the count goes full.
Just looked like a little too far out of the zone. Didn't give himself a chance to have Justin go after it.
Well, if you don't get Morneau, you got to face that man. The difference in the game, Jason Kubel. And he will have to face him. First walk of the game by Edwin. Twins have 5 hits. It's been an errorless game to this point. And out goes Ramon now. He wants to talk about pitch selection with Edwin. I don't think he wants to throw that slider low and into Kubel.
Well, in the last at bat, Edwin did a good job of getting ahead, but with 2 strikes, threw a slider that just hung over the inner half of the plate. I'm sure Ramon was saying, let's get this one to bite down low at his ankles, and just didn't quite get it there. And unfortunately, with their hottest hitter, he made Edwin pay for it.
Kubel hits out of an open stance. Looks at a fastball down.
Well, and that's 5 in a row now for Edwin. Got ahead 0-2 on Justin, and 4 straight balls to walk him and a ball here. Need to be careful, though.
Couldn't check his swing. Count evens at 1-1.
And good running fastball. As you know, Ramon did a good job of setting up just off that outside corner, and I'm sure he was thinking, you know, 5 balls in a row. He's got to come in with the fastball. Let's give him one that'll tease him and maybe run away, which it did. We got a strike.
That one misses on the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-1.
Edwin still throwing in the mid-90s, as you saw on that. 96 miles an hour, so clearly, even with 81 pitches thrown to this point, he's not losing any velocity on the fastball.
Short lead at first by Morneau. Right back up the middle, but Alexi's right there. And they get the out at first base. So we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 1-0 Twins.
Playoff game. Get highlights and analysis from Kendall Gill, Mark Shanowski, and the always entertaining Stacey King. Head to csnchicago.com to chat live with the Bulls PGL hosts each game.
Sox still looking for their first hit as Brent Morrell steps up. Flat out to center field at the end of the 3rd inning. Takes a breaking ball for a strike, evens the count at 1-1. 4 walks, 2 strikeouts for Liriano. And that misses. They play Morrell straight away. Most teams have shaded him to right center. But he's not going to get that one. That was a good sinker at 94.
Good hard fastball sinking away from him. Again, when you get into that situation as a hitter, you're thinking, I want to see something hard. You see it hard out of his hand, but sometimes you don't quite pick up the rotation. That one ran out of the zone.
Chopper to third. Valencia. Long throw across the diamond, and they've got him.
Stop by the Comcast Fundamentals deck at U.S. Cellular Field for the ultimate game day experience. Visit the Comcast dugout to see official White Sox equipment, take photos next to life-size player cutouts, and listen to updates about the White Sox pitching staff on the Xfinity Voice dugout phone. All brought to you by Comcast.
Juan Pierre has been up twice. He's walked twice. Takes one down.
Well, and even though we haven't gotten a hit yet, we have had 4 base runners, all via the walk. Juan with 2 of the 4, both in the first and the fourth.
Count even at 1. Valencia in on the grass at third. Morneau even with the bag at first. And that one misses down.
Casilla also cheating a little bit at second there. He's a third of the way in from that outfield cutout.
Hit right at him. High chopper. And quickly there are 2 outs. Well, here's where they break up the no-hitter.
The right guy, the hot guy, the one that's had the most success against Liriano, hit the ball well in his first at-bat, line drive to third.
Popped him up in the fourth. And they're playing him straight away. Tolbert up the middle at short. And he looks at a slider inside. Valencia well off the line at third. If he stays inside, that's where the ball's going. And the count goes to 2-0. Good fastball for a strike on the inside corner. And just before that pitch was delivered, Valencia moved closer toward the line. Three and one.
Alexi, not necessarily known for walking, definitely has got himself into a good hitting count here. Hopefully with patience we'll see him on the base.
Rocket foul.
Just like you talked about, they've been coming inside a bunch on him. He was ready for it. As you see through the Dodge pitch track, everything down and in. Alexi got his hands inside of it well. You see it only curved a few feet. Good piece of hitting, but just foul.
3-2 pitch. That one popped up to the right side. Casilla calls for it and makes the catch. So we head into the top of the 7th inning. No hits for the Sox. They trail 1-0. One more with the Twins. That tomorrow afternoon on WGN. Then it's a day off on Thursday, and it's off to Seattle, Anaheim, and those pesky A's in Oakland.
The dreaded West Coast trip. Always tough, those first couple.
We need a good one this time. Michael Kadire looks at a slider for a strike. He's 1 for 2. Top of the 7th inning. 1-0 Twins. And a high chopper. Long throw by Morel. Guns it across and gets it.
Gadier had one base hit to right on a slider. Everything else has been ground balls to third. Morrell does a good job fielding it right at his eyes. Comes up, lines up his throw to first, long and hard. Gets him out by more than a step.
When he comes over the top, he's got something on that throw. Rene Tassoni. Fouled that one off to the left. Had a hit and run base hit. Just dropped it over the head of Morrell back in the second. Twins threatened but didn't score. And quickly an 0-2 count. Edwin Jackson's been throwing a ball very well.
A lot of movement on the fastball. Great turning that one over. Took a little something off.
Threw the fastball right by him.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
So quickly 2 out here for Danny Valencia.
You see in the Dodge fan track, first one just off the plate that he fouled. Second one caught the corner and then went a little bit further. And from the look, you see him turning over that fastball, taking just a little something off it. Tassoni out in front of it. Strike 3.
Might have learned a little something from watching CC Sabathia, who could make his fastball into 3 different pitches.
Well, and that might have been something that Don Cooper talked to him about as well. You know, you throw hard enough, let it off just a little bit. Hold it a little bit different, as you were talking to me beforehand, and you can get some rotation and some movement. Still being fluid, making it look like a fastball. Unfortunately, he gets behind on this hitter.
Danny Valencia, 0 for 2. And now it's 3-0. Drew Butera in the on-deck circle. And the bottom part of this twin order doesn't have a whole lot of thunder in it.
Well, once you get past Gadier, Tassoni, Valencia, Butera, and Tolbert, as you said, no one there is really going to make you worry too much.
Base hit left field. 3-0 pitch. And he's trying to stretch it into a double and does. There's another example of Ron Gardner doing what he has to do to try to shake up a dormant offense.
I tell you what, the one thing that Danny does here is the minute that ball is hit, he knew he hit it pretty well, and you could see how far back Juan was. He puts his head down and goes. He's not going to stop until, and he's got plenty of time to stop between first and second if Juan comes up with a strike. As he went backwards to play it, Valencia just kept going, watching the plays right in front of him. Took advantage of it.
Drew Butera lifts the foul ball off to the right side. And the way this has gone, this is a huge out. You're just joining us? Francisco Liriano has yet to give up a hit. It's a 1-0 game. Here in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. Valencia at second. That evens the count at 1-1.
We looked like umpire Bruce Dreckman wanted to call that one for a strike. Started to flinch those shoulders up. Might have just been out of the zone, though.
Yeah, just missed at the top of the zone. You're not going to get that one too often. Called strike. That one at the bottom of the zone. So Butera in an 0-2 hole. Has not had the ball out of the infield yet.
Butera again hitting just over 100. 106. Big lead at second base by Valencia.
Ground ball back up the middle. Ramirez has it. Plenty of time, and he gets him at first. And so we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-0 Twins. Adam Dunn looks out at Francisco Liriano. Adam is 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the first. Struck out swinging in the fourth. Little chopper, easy play for Morneau. And quickly one out here in the seventh.
Tickets for White Sox home games at U.S. Cellular Field are now on sale. Tickets start at just $12 per seat. Purchase your tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Adam Dunn just not quite squaring one up there. A little bit off the end of the bat when he struck out a good hard slider that just was off of it a fraction, and unfortunately the double play in the first inning.
Well, Liriano's tough on right-handers, but he's very tough on left-handers. Paul Konerko 0 for 1 with a walk. Looks at a changeup blown away.
Good job by Paulie right there, looking at it, seeing it well. We talked about earlier, there's usually 1 or 2 players on each team you don't want to beat you. I'm sure for the Twins, they're saying Paul's the guy that we don't want to. And unfortunately,
he pops it up. Well, Tolbert didn't give way to Tassone, and that's a left fielder's ball. But for the Twins, all's well that ends well.
As you see Tolbert going back, calling it. An outfielder can't hear that, but as a shortstop, when Tassone's coming in yelling for it, definitely he's yelling in front. So Tolbert should have backed off, and it's always easier as you're coming in to catch a foul ball.
Carlos Quentin do a walk in the second inning. Flied out to end the fourth. And he takes a slider for a strike.
With 2 on 2 out, back in the fourth, Home Depot doing more on defense replay. Hit the ball well, but Denard Span just had a great read on it and caught it.
What a play by Valencia. Robbing Carlos of a base hit deep at third base. A rocket for an arm. Pours it across. And it's still a no-hitter through 7. Look at this play. What an effort by Danny Valencia. In the immortal words of my partner, we cannot cancel the postgame yet. Francisco Liriano has a no-hitter through 7. courtesy of a couple of good plays, but that last play was a great play by Danny Valencia. The Twins have had all kinds of struggles defensively, but not tonight.
Well, likewise, the combined ERAs of these two pitchers going into tonight is over 13, and we've given up 1 run on only 6 hits over 7 innings.
Matt Tolbert looks at a slider for a strike. He's 0 for 2, grounded out twice.
And that's exactly the type of pitch I think we both were hoping to see Edwin throwing. A good slider early in the count, keeping the hitters off balance so that he can then come back with that riding fastball that he's still throwing in the mid-90s here in the 8th inning.
Count evens at 1-1. Tolbert leading off, fouls it straight back. Denard Span in the on-deck circle. 1, 6, and 0 for the Twins. Zeros across the board for the Sox. Fouled straight back. Matt Thornton loosening up in the bullpen.
Next pitch will be Edwin's 100th. So I'm sure Ozzy's thinking, as well as he's pitching, let's make sure we don't give.
He's thinking about Morneau and Kubel back to back.
Exactly. Don't give any quarter to these guys. Span a lefty, Morneau a lefty, Kubel a lefty, Tassoni a lefty.
Two-two pitch, and he got him. Another one of those off speeders that just kind of settled into the glove, and he caught him looking.
Tolbert here trying to choke up. You could see him almost leaning away, which makes that outside pitch, even though it may have been off the plate by the Dodge pitch track, seem even that much further, and even with a boat or I don't think he was going to hit that one.
Just a second strikeout of the night for Edwin Jackson. Denard Span takes the fastball for a strike.
Well, as we talked about earlier, the fact that his last couple outings may not have been good. Only 1 walk for Edwin tonight.
And I think he's also learned a little something about the fastball and the off-speed pitches. I think Ramon's done a very nice job behind the plate of making sure that he keeps in mind that he can get people out at 85 and 86. He doesn't have to go 95 and 96 all the time. 0-2 pitch right back up the middle. Ramirez has it, guns it across, and gets him by a step.
Well, and that's a great example of changing up your speeds. That fastball came riding in and just ate up Denard. But he can't do that unless he throws something, as you're talking about, in the 80s. If he's throwing everything in the 90s, hitters are just going to get used to that eventually and catch up to it. So by going back and forth, he was able to get that fastball in on Span and ground ball to short.
Garcia 1 for 3, and he's bunted twice. Edwin has been terrific tonight. He's been outdueled by Liriano, trailing 1-0. Good fastball over the inside corner. Count evens at 1. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. 1-0 Twins. Good play by Paulie as he knocks it down. Edwin over to make the play. And a 1-2-3-8. So we head into the bottom of the 8th inning. We need a hit. We need a run. 1-0 Twins.
Game Live. Get analysis from Chuck and Bill, plus go live to Ozzy's post-game remarks. Don't miss Galaxy White Sox post-game live immediately following the game on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Francisco Liriano has a no-hitter. Alex Rios is going to lead it off. Takes a slider for a strike. Alex 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the second. Grounded to third in the fifth. Pops this one straight up. Tolbert calling for it. And he makes the catch.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago White Sox. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel and authentic classics. Get your gear from the official source. Shop at www.whitesox.com.
Ramon Castro probably hit the ball the hardest of the night last time up. Strikeout victim in the third, hit a rocket to center field in the fifth. Span made the catch. And he looks at a fastball off the outside corner.
Outfield straight up, infield straight up, not covering the lines or anything yet.
That one misses down, and the count goes to 2-0.
We saw Valencia make a great play down the third base line.
What has been a porous defense so far has been very good tonight for the Twins. And the count goes to 3-0. Liriano has walked 4. Good fastball for a strike.
I'm sure if Ramon gets on, we'll be looking for a pinch runner. I would assume Brent Lillibridge, but as you look at the Dodge fan track, that one right on the corner.
And he draws a walk.
And even before Ramon gets to first base, here comes Brent Lillibridge out of the dugout.
So Ramon is taken down. Lillibridge, representing a tying run, takes his place. And Gordon Beckham, who's lifted a couple of fly balls to Denard Span in center field, with one out here in the bottom of the 8th. Sox trail just 1-0. Liriano has yet to give up a hit. Short lead by Lillibridge. Chopper to third. Over to second for 1. Back to first. Off the bag. He got him on the tag. Beckham can't believe it. But it's a double play to end the 8th inning. The no-hitter intact. We head to the top of the 9th inning. It's 1-0 Twins.
play. They say a pitcher's best friend is a double play. Well, sometimes an umpire can help with that. As we see this ball get turned around the infield, clearly looks like Beckham beat the throw, but first base umpire Paul Emmel did not appear to be in a good position to make that call and called him out.
Couldn't have been in a good position because he never came close to tagging him. Matt Thornton comes in at 0-2. The ERA is way up there, and he's got to face Morneau and Kubel to lead it off. A.J. Pierzynski takes over behind the plate. Morneau 3 for 22 lifetime against Thornton. Make that 3 for 23.
And love the fact those were 2 curveballs from Thornton. Again, Steve, as you talked about, one of the best parts of Edwin's game tonight, Edwin Jackson, our starting pitcher, was the fact that he was throwing a running fastball, not quite 96. He was throwing his slider for a strike. Thornton has a good curveball. You don't have to throw it 97, 98 every time to get these guys out.
Edwin Jackson went 8 innings, gave up a run on 6 hits, walked 1, fanned 2, pitched brilliantly, but he's run into a no-hitter so far. And that 1 run, the home run by Jason Kubel with 1 out in the 4th inning. Kubel 3 for 13 lifetime against Thornton, fouls it straight back, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Michael Kadire in the on-deck circle. That one misses wide. The count goes to 1-2.
As the count goes to 1-2 in the 4th inning with 2 strikes, here was a slider from Edwin that he didn't quite get in far enough or down far enough, and you saw what Kubel did with it.
Little squibber, foul. 20,901 in attendance on this chilly night.
And not able to make much noise because, with the exception of a few base runners via the walk, we have not put too much pressure on the Twins tonight.
Down to 39 degrees. That one evens the count at 2-2. Good cut by Kubel, fouls it straight back. Thornton is trying to stay away from him. We believe the last no-hitter against the Sox was Brett Saberhagen in Kansas City. Another foul ball straight back.
Might have gotten away with one there. That was up in the zone. Inner half. Matt doing a good job this at bat, working in and out. A couple good curveballs.
Big inning for Matt Thornton. You don't want to give them an insurance run here. And Kubel doing a good job of staying alive.
This is also the type of inning that if Matt does get a 1-2-3, this might be the spark that he needs to get that confidence back going through the heart of their order, hopefully in order.
Well, if we're going to put together a good run, we've got to have Matt Thornton throwing well. And he threw it right by him on the outside corner at 99.
I tell you what, at 39 degrees and 99 miles an hour in the outside corner, even a hot hitting Jason Kubel.
No, you're not hitting that one.
You're not going to hit that one.
Michael Kadire, 1 for 3, steps in. Also 3 for 13 lifetime against Thornton. Outfield shading him around toward right center. Pierre very deep in left. And he swings at a high fastball. Matt is rushing it up there tonight.
Seems to be nice and fluid, too, throwing nice and loose. Picking up his target. AJ doing a great job working in and working out. Matt just playing catch with him right now.
We are not going to take a break after this inning. We're going to stay right here as Francisco Liriano has a no-hitter. And he'll take that into the bottom of the 9th inning. With the Sox trailing 1-0. Not a whole lot of people talking to Liriano on the bench. That evens the count at 2-2 to Kadire. Liriano's control has not been great. He's walked 5. But he's given up no hits. That one fouled straight back, and the count holds at 2-2.
Matt doing a good job of trying to climb the ladder there, like with the first strike, up and in. This one right at the top of the strike zone, not above it, and Kadire able to foul it off.
Good fastball, strike 3. And Kadire can't believe it. Has a talk with Bruce Dreckman. Good, solid inning for Matt Thornton. 1, 2, 3, 2 strikeouts. Might have caught a break there, but. And there's a look at the man of the hour, Francisco Liriano. And Mike, the most amazing thing is he had 5 previous starts. He had averaged less than 5 innings per start.
Yep.
So he's in uncharted territory here.
Well, you talk about the talent this kid has, and when he first came into the league, how hard he was throwing, the command. And as you talked about, the first part of this year, there's just been inconsistency. And somehow he's been able to put everything together tonight.
Let's take a look at Liriano getting himself out of trouble when he's gotten in trouble. This double play ended the first inning.
And unfortunately, we're going to see another double play that ends the second inning. This was the first one that we talked about with Span running it down. This ball seemed to just hang in the air. The 8th inning, where clearly Gordon beat the throw. First base umpire Paul Emmel not in the position to make the right call. And now we're in the 9th.
It's going to be Brent Morel leading off, followed by Juan Pierre and Alexi Ramirez. And hopefully Dunn and Konerko. Brent 0 for 2. Fly out in the 3rd, ground out in the 6th.
Brent has had a great night defensively. Now let's see if we can put together an at-bat and get him on the base.
Liriano at 102 pitches. Far and away the most pitches he's thrown this year. And still a good breaking ball for a strike.
Good location, just down. Brent Morel doing a good job of laying off that. That was a borderline pitch.
Somewhat hard to believe, but Liriano has never had a complete game in the major leagues. And he misses low and in, and the count goes to 3-1. And Matt Capps, the closer, getting loosened up. Chopper to shortstop. Tolbert's got it. On the move. Got him at first. This is the 90th career start for Francisco Liriano, and he has never completed a game.
With his stuff, that's a surprise. Tolbert does a good job coming in on this one and then really rights himself, tries to right himself, knowing it's Morel. He still somehow doesn't get enough on the throw, and great job by Justin Morneau digging this one out of the dirt on that in-between hop.
Let's see if Juan is thinking about bunting up the right side. As that one gets away, Pierre's been on twice. A walk in the 1st, a walk in the 4th. He stole a base in the 4th when Liriano walked 2. One out here in the 9th. And he's fallen behind Pierre 2-0. Outfield straight away, very shallow. And there's a fastball for a strike.
Juan's had a couple really good at-bats. On one of those walks, there was a couple really good pitches with 2 strikes that he fouled off. Hopefully he can time one here and get a little base hit.
That one misses down. So he goes to a 3-1 count with Alexei Ramirez in the on-deck circle. Good fastball for a strike, and the count goes full.
And as a good leadoff hitter does, make him throw you 3 strikes, not just 1.
Pitch number 112. And Butera comes out. Wonder if he's saying, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you've got a no-hitter.
All you need are 4 more strikes, 2 more outs, and you're actually going to get your first no-hitter ever.
First complete game.
First complete game ever, yeah, and that still surprises me with as good a stuff as he has had and has.
He misses outside. The tying run's aboard. Alexei hasn't had the ball out of the infield, but he's 10 for 23 lifetime. And the first time up, he lined out right at Valencia. Now Valencia, looking in the dugout, wants to know where they want him to play. Right now he is well off the line at third. Swing and a miss. That's a straight change.
Again, one of the best part about Francisco's game tonight has been the fact that he has not been afraid to throw the slider or the changeup behind or ahead in the count, keeping the White Sox hitters really off balance.
There's a look in at Butera, who hangs the signs. Line drive, well fouled. And Alexei in an 0-2 hole. Adam Dunn in the on-deck circle.
Alexei's had a couple of these where Liriano's done good enough job of just taking something off of it. This being a straight change, unfortunately up in the zone. Alexei was out in front of it, hit it hard, but pulled it into the stands in left field.
0-2 count on Ramirez. Tries to buzz him upstairs, and that one's out of the zone.
Any type of gapper here, and we know we're going to tie the game with Juan. Outfield straight up and not too deep.
Little looper right at Tolbert. 1 out to go, and it's going to be Adam Dunn. Twins lead 1-0. Francisco Liriano on the verge of throwing a no-hitter. He's never had a shutout at any level. He's never had a complete game at any level.
And hopefully with one bad pitch, Adam can make it 2-1.
That one misses low and away.
And keep that perfect record perfect.
Got the captain in the on-deck circle. You'd love to see Paul Konerko coming up.
Paul has 2 home runs against Liriano.
Falling behind 2-0.
2 home runs and 22 at bats, so clearly 21 at bats. Would love to see Paulie up there.
Well, now Dunn knows he's going to get a fastball, or at least he suspects it. And that one misses.
And Dunn does a great job, as you're talking about, anticipating a fastball. And sometimes the toughest thing as a hitter is when you get the pitch you're looking for, if it's out of the zone, not to swing. He did a good job of not swinging at that one.
3-0 count on Adam Dunn. Good fastball for a strike.
As you look at our Dodge pitch track, again, great location just on that low outside corner.
Short lead by Pierre. Good fastball in the inside corner, throws it right by him. Down to our last strike.
And as we saw Liriano paint that outside corner, this one just caught a fraction of that inside corner.
3-2 count. Pierre off with the pitch. Dunn fouls it off. Somewhat hard to believe, but he threw him a changeup.
He did. 3-2, 2 outs. Pierre running and goes with his second best pitch, but one that he's been effective with tonight.
Outfield very deep in a no double set. The 3-2 pitch, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Line drive, no hitter.
Unbelievable.
No hitter, Francisco Liriano. A rocket hit right at Tolbert. And the Twins celebrate in the middle of the diamond. What a performance by Francisco Liriano. Three-two pitch, 2 outs. The tying run at first base, and the last out of the game. Adam Dunn hits a rocket right at Matt Tolbert. And that's it. We are eventually going to join Fox Sports North for an interview with Liriano and Mike Huff. You joined me tonight because my partner, Hawk Harrelson, was sick. You walked into something that nobody could expect. A no-hitter by Francisco Liriano. First complete game of his entire life.
You think about those statistics. Never a complete game, never a shutout at any level, any time, and does it in the major leagues. I was very fortunate my rookie year with the White Sox in '91 to be a defensive replacement when Wilson Alvarez threw his no-hitter in Baltimore. There was one play in the 9th inning, sinking line drive right between Lance Johnson and I that he made a diving catch for. Next 2 outs were easy. Seems like there's always 1 or 2 plays every game that people have to come up with to do something special like this, and we saw Valencia and now the line drive to Tolbert.
Well, that one and the play in center field by Denard Span off the bat of Carlos Quentin. He came across, made the play, would have been a couple of runs.
Yep.
And Valencia's tremendous play at deep third. What a performance by Francisco Liriano. The defense, which had been so bad all year, talking to Ron Gardner, he said they usually have a good defensive club. He couldn't understand why this year they just haven't been able to pick up the baseball. He made an adjustment. He put Tolbert at short today, moved Casilla to second. Tolbert made some pretty good plays. Valencia made some great plays. And we're going to join Fox Sports in talking with the man of the hour.
What are your emotions like right now, Francisco?
I can't explain, I feel so nervous and so happy right now, I just can't explain my feeling right now.
At what point in time in the ball game did you feel like you could do this?
I didn't know it was going to no-hitter today, because I walked too many guys, so I didn't know it was going to no-hitter, so I wasn't thinking about it at all.
What was your key to success in the ball game? How were you able to hold down this lineup and come away with the no-hitter?
Yeah, used to move both sides of the play, not trying to do too much, just use both sides of the play, one pitch at a time and one hitter at a time.
Now, Francisco, let's see that ball. Hold that ball up right there. Let everybody see it. Matt Tolbert, he catches the line drive off Adam Dunn's bat. What's your immediate reaction?
I thought it was a base. I thought we were pulling, pull this way. So when I saw you catch it, just so excited. I can't play myself right now.
You have the baseball right there. What do you plan to do with that baseball, Francisco?
You got to sign it for everybody and, just keep it home.
How about in the dugout? What were the emotions like in the dugout with the guys? We saw Drew walked right past you. Nobody talked to you. What were your emotions like as you sat in and watched your team bat?
Yeah, nobody talked to me at all. You was trying to do the same thing, not trying to overdo, and just missing my pitches,
Francisco, this year hasn't gone the way you'd expect it to go to this point in time. What will tonight do for your confidence?
I just want to tell you, with a lot of confidence, I talked to Andy, like 2 days ago, and he told me, just pitch how you do it, how you know how to pitch. So I went out there and just one pitch at a time, like I say, one hitter at a time.
Congratulations to you, Francisco.
Thank you, man.
There's Francisco Liriano, Dick and Ron, fresh off.
Our GMC player of the game is guess who? Francisco Liriano. What a performance. That's the last out of the game. 6 walks, but no hits, as the Sox go down 1-0. For my partner, Mike Huff, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, John Walgren, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., and for the mayor, Mean Joe Group, I'm Steve Stone, saying so long, everybody.